Hey there, everyone. Today in Random in Psychology, we are going to talk about what we actually pay attention to and what we remember. So, perceptual selection is basically the idea of what do we select to perceive. And one of the things that we know is that we have to be paying attention in order for us to remember the things that we have been sensing, whether it's, coming in through our nose or through our mouth or through our eyes. If we're not paying attention to it, then we won't actually perceive it. So we may sense it, comes in through the senses, but it doesn't actually get perceived by the brain and then remembered by the rest of the brain. So kind of important. If you think about it, our senses are literally bombarded with information simultaneously. We've got smells, we've got sounds. Maybe if we're eating, we have tastes. We may have pain experiences. And it's really hard for us to pay attention to every single simultaneous thing at once. So, what do? We select a couple to attend to. So, if we're asked about the ones that we didn't attend to, we could probably get them wrong. One example of this would be eyewitness misidentification, and it is a big problem in wrongful convictions. So there's a couple of things that influence, or a couple of variables that influence our perceptual selection and what we pay attention to. Two types of things, or two types of variables, are going to be stimulus factors, so factors relating to the stimulus itself, and then personal factors or characteristics of the perceiver or the person who's doing the perceiving. So today we're going to talk about stimulus factors in particular. So first, we want to think about whether or not one item or multiple items contrast with others. So, contrast is the extent to which a stimulus is physically different from those around it. And so, if something contrasts with things around it, we are more likely to perceive it, we're more likely to attend to it, and we're more likely to remember it. So, a couple of different examples of contrast include things like intensity. So, the more intense something is, the more likely we are to process it and to process it more than other things. So, for example, think about things in bold font. Because of that contrast, we are more likely, our eyes are more likely to be drawn to it, and we are more likely to process it. You can also think about things that are in all caps. We're more likely to process it because it's in all caps. This is why we shouldn't send any text messages in all caps, because the whole thing will get just disregarded after the person goes, "Why is this in all caps?" Another thing is related physical size. So, in most cases, the bigger the stimulus, the more attention we pay to it. So, again, talking about the size of the letters if things are in all caps, but also in terms of humans. If we see four different humans, we will probably pay attention to the one that is the largest. Things that are in motion are going to create contrast to things that are not in motion, and so we are more likely to pay attention if we sense motion than if we don't sense motion. So if we're looking outside and we are just looking at a tree, and then suddenly we sense motion, then we're more likely to pay attention to that spot where we sense motion. Another one is repetition. So the more a stimulus is presented, the more it will probably be attended to or paid attention to and remembered. But here's the thing. We can also become habituated or used to hearing or seeing a certain statement. And so over time, we may adapt to it because it's not a new or novel statement or commercial or visual or something like that. So the best strategy to deal with that is to say it in a new way or to present it in a new way. So the greater the contrast, the better it's remembered. The more often we see or hear it, the more likely we are to remember it, unless we get used to it and then we start to ignore it. So today's topic, has been perceptual attention. I will see y'all tomorrow.